and welcome to another Fistful of Questions. This is going to be part 2 of my new DM's tips, Fistful of Questions. These questions are also courtesy of our good friend Isa Sadat, aka DM Yin. He sent in a good bunch of questions a couple days ago. I went ahead and made a video response to answer his questions because I thought it would be helpful to other new DMs as well. He sent me another Fistful of Questions, about 3 of them here. And I'm going to go ahead and answer those as well because I started typing out my answers to these and realized, you know what, these are great topics for a video. These are really going to help some other new DMs out. So Yin, thanks again for the kind words about my channel and for the questions. You're helping me out producing content here. So let's go ahead and answer your questions to the best of my ability. There are some good questions here. The first question that Yin has is something that I think catches up a lot of new DMs, and that is separating mechanically how combat works versus mechanically how roleplay works. He asks, he has trouble understanding role-playing limits and turns in non-combat encounters. So, for instance, he points out like a dialogue scene where they're talking about where they're talking to an NPC. How much conversation is enough on the PC side? Sometimes they get a little too talkative to the NPCs, and sometimes other players are wondering when it would be their turn to talk. What is a good way to handle each PC is treated equally while an NPC is talking? Is there a time limit? There is no time limit, and for the most part, most DMs do not follow turn order in terms of non-combat encounters. So a turn, or a round, rather, in Pathfinder and D&D, at least 3rd edition on, is about 6 seconds. So you have about 10 rounds per minute. So you don't want to just go around the table and give each PC 6 seconds to talk. You want each player to be able to say what they want to be able to say. If you're running into a problem where certain people around the table are talking a lot more than other people, sort of stockpiling the time with this NPC, what I would do is, if they're asking a bunch of questions and stuff, I would just very politely just hold up a hand and say, does anyone else have anything to say to this NPC? Or if somebody specific is being a little bit quiet, say, John, do you have anything to say to this NPC? Or what do you think about this situation? It's a very easy way to pick out someone around the table and ask if they have something to contribute. Worst comes to worst, you can have everyone roll initiative and then they get to speak in that order. It's up to you as the DM to decide the amount of time or the amount of questions or a speech that is fair for these players. Most of the time, this is something that catches you up at the beginning because you're a new group, new DM, new players, still getting used to each other. Once you gel, you really start to get into a good habit of everyone gets to speak the same amount, and everyone is good at allotting time for everybody else. So what I would say is don't have any hard or fast rules about the time limit that people are allowed to talk. Just use your best judgment. Look around the table, realize this guy's been talking a lot, no one else has really been saying anything. Just say, does anyone else have anything to say to this NPC? Don't interrupt him, you know, don't have him stop talking, just in a natural break. Just, you know, hold up a hand, hold up a finger really quick, and just ask. You know, there's a very polite way to do it, and there's a way to do it where the player who's speaking is not going to feel like you're cutting him off or anything like that. So, yeah, don't fall into the trap of sort of thinking about roleplay mechanically. Roleplay should flow. It should be more natural, more organic than combat is. Great question. His second question is, he has a game for 4 players. One guy is a no-show for some apparent reason. Continue the game or not? If you continue, how do you deal with the missing PC? In his first situation, he improvised it as if the missing player's PC simply fell unconscious for the duration of the game. That's the way I do it, for magical reasons. But I'm not sure, maybe there's a better way around it, or is there a right way to do it? Tell me your thoughts on how to deal with such a scenario. I've dealt with this a lot of different ways, and it always sucks when someone doesn't show up, especially if they don't warn you beforehand. What I typically do is I'll see if there's anyone at the table that is willing to run that person's character. Now, that's kind of a big responsibility, and it can take away from your character, so most of the time I don't force anyone to do that. But if anyone is sort of jumping at the chance to sort of just run this character, then I will let them do that. If not, I sort of treat their character as an NPC with the party. The character will only speak if spoken to, or if they have something really important to offer, and they will be involved in combat to some extent. but most of the time you can sort of find a reason why that PC is not there. Perhaps the other players woke up and that PC was gone. Perhaps he left a note saying, you know, I've gone to check out this thing. I will be back. You know, if I'm not back, blah blah blah. You can sort of work in sort of, you know, little things about the PC's backstory or motivations that would perhaps draw them away from the party for a short duration. We've done that before as well. So they're actually in the game I'm playing with Dawnforge Cast right now, Sleuthing in Winter Wonderland. We were missing a player this past Friday. And Andrew, our DM, sort of said that you know, this character was a druid. He was going out to sort of commune with nature, talk to the wolves and stuff, and we were just sort of on our own that day. So very, very natural, very believable reason why the player was absent. Not a big deal. Now, I have had experience with players showing up late, players who are not able to make it on time, and that gets a little tricky. For the most part, I mean, honestly, you don't have to have it be seamless. Your players are willing to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief here if all of a sudden the character is there or whatever. Just make sure you're doing it in a way that everyone is having fun, no one is being inconvenienced, and yeah, everyone is able to have as much time with their character as possible. So just try to think of a way why that character wouldn't necessarily be with the party or wouldn't be as active with the party or what have you. And then his third question is examples of fortitude, of a fortitude situation. He doesn't seem to understand much of this concept or scenario. Please give examples. From his understanding, will is mental defense, reflex is jumping out of traps, but fortitude I'm not so sure about. Well, I think you're thinking about saves too specifically. Saves are very, very broad. Will is not just against spells. Will is your mind, your ability to overcome mental stress, fear, you know, any sort of spell effects, yes, but anything that is going to affect your mind is going to be a will save. Reflex is not just jumping out of the way of traps. Reflex is catching something. Reflex is diving out of the way. Reflex is ducking under something. Reflex is basically, it's your reflexes. It's, you know, your ability to act physically quickly in a situation. Now, your question is about fortitude. Fortitude is your hardiness. It's tied to your constitution for a reason. It is your ability to overcome sickness. So, for example, you get stabbed with a poison blade. You would roll your fortitude save to see if your natural immune system, your body's hardiness, is able to overcome that poison. Fortitude is also related to disease, sickness, fatigue, things like that. It's your body's hardiness, your ability to overcome physical stress. So think of it this way. Will is your mind. Reflex is your readiness, your quickness, your dexterity. And fortitude is your body, your hardiness, your constitution, your well-being. So I hope that answers that question. So yeah, he says, thanks so much for the video. He truly appreciates it. He also says that he loves my cat, and it's pronounced Isa, not Isa. Okay, good. So I think I pronounced that right, but maybe I didn't. It's Isa. Isa Sadat. Okay. But it's all right. Yin is easier, he says. So DM Yin. So Yin, thank you again for your wonderful questions. I hope I've answered them thoroughly, and I hope I've answered them in a way that's going to help other people out as well. Yin, you know, maybe we'll see you in the brigade sometime making your own videos. I would love to see that. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and happy gaming all, and take care.